Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Monday. It's March 17th. This will be our chart lesson for today. Uh, just one note: I was in the process of having my office upgraded today. We've had DSL here in the past, and I've upgraded to UVerse. So um, my trading was spotty this morning. I traded a little bit before the guy showed up, and then my I tried to trade a little bit. I tried to take some sim trades while he was here working, but my internet access kept going on and off, so I just kind of gave up. So, um, but basically, what I'm going to do is just go through the chart list, and that's going to be it today. Since my trading was so spotty and limited, but you can see we had this trend working up. We really had a close outside the trend line here. Um, I didn't really think that was going to be enough to turn the trend. I really thought this break was, and I thought we'd probably make two legs up to a new high. But that never happened. We never could get there. There's just so much resistance here. What we ended up really doing was going into one trading range and then moving a little bit higher and going into another. And that's really, we just couldn't do much today for whatever reason. We found a lot of resistance up here around this 18. It's really right across here, 18. I just call it maybe the 1853 area. Um, we just couldn't much get above that. So, but let's talk about the trades. There was a clear spike in channel here, and this is interesting because you have this. Notice this overshoot here, which is about equal to the undershoot, and that's common. But I believe this to be the channel that held prices, and then we got the break. I moved to a new high, and then we kind of went into a range for the rest of the day, and you can see that. Um, but this trend line was valid right here. This is a spike in channel, and it could have been that there's even, another point to this up here, but you don't really find a real clear median line that fits. I guess this could be a little bit lower. I really just believe it to be a channel with the overshoots that you sometimes see in the overnight hours. That's not uncommon at all. And that fits really well. It holds the price action really well. So that's what I was looking at. But the first trade that I saw after right around the 7 o'clock hour was this trade right here. And I was really looking at this like a trading range. We were looking for prices to come back to the trend line, of course. But you had these kind of matching lows across here. And this is like a little failed break lower. There's really two legs back to the EMA, the trend line. There's two legs in the first leg, and then there's a second leg. Um, and so there was a first entry here. It's a little bit aggressive, but if you saw the trend line, if this would have broken lower and then went out the upside, went above this bar, let me just move that. If it had broke on higher, I would have gone ahead and probably marked that blue and had a stop order there. But when it didn't get higher, and it kind of ended underneath here. When it broke higher, you might have dropped a limit order in there, letting this be your signal bar. So that's a possibility if you want to be aggressive. Otherwise, you got to wait on the second entry, which comes right here. And I didn't like going long on a second entry so close to the highs without a better signal bar than that right there. But then you get this failed second entry short, and there's a trap, so I liked going long right there. And you can see that new low, first entry pullback, second entry. Again, it bounces right off that trend line, so I like that one for a long. Then there's a breakout pullback long right here, and then there's another little attempt to turn down that bounces off the trend line again, just gives you more confirmation of that trend line. So this is like a breakout pullback long from the trading range across here, or the highs, and this is like a little breakout pullback long from this little congestion area. So you could have it's getting a lot more aggressive here because you're going long at the very high, which you really are here too, but they're coming off that trend line. So, and this one, the reason I really like this one better too is that this is like one leg and then another leg. So this is, on a bigger picture, this is a failed second entry long. And this is more like a breakout pullback long here from probably those highs right across there. But you could have looked at all that very similar, but this one's a little bit more aggressive. Of course, that was the move of the day because they really probably trapped a bunch of shorts right in here. And then there's a second entry long here, but this looks more like a trading range again, so I didn't like that one so much. If you did enter there, I liked using, let's make this bigger. If you did enter long here, I liked using a limit order. This one did break lower and go higher, but because it's not a very pretty bar, you probably want to drop a limit order, and you see it would have come back and filled you all the way to the top of that last close. And if you didn't take that, you could have entered a second entry there. Both of them worked. This was the first close outside the trend, the possible trend line. And even then it's iffy because it could have been a little bit lower here, and that might have been right on it. I really think it's those closes right across there, and that gets you the close outside because that holds these prices really well. And but this is an important question here. I always get this: when is it okay to start going short? Because people start going short, you know. You really want a confirmed trend in the other way, and the way you get a confirmed trend is you got your first two swings here. So when it came back and touched it again and turned down, that kind of confirmed it. But that's not a very good setup. There is a failed second entry long there, but I think it's too risky having just made a new high off a trend this strong up. But when it came back again and touched and turned back down, look how bearish that bar is. I like that one. And because now you got a little channel working down. That was an easy scalp. And then you get a failed second entry long, so I liked taking that one right there too. This is your signal bar right here. Just go short right there. This one's a little bit questionable. This is like a breakout pullback short second entry, because remember you got this matching lows. It came back and tested it once. It actually tested it here, then once, twice more. That's two tests of something that fails. There's a lot of different reasons to take that one. It's a trap, and you can see it works down pretty quickly. And then we reverse here. You got your break of this little channel and your new low now. First entry long, pull back. I went back and forth about whether to mark this second entry, but by the time it triggered here, I mean, it did trigger here, but you can't go long. This needed to be your signal bar. And by the time it triggers, you got a little double top. I just didn't like it. It would have worked. I don't think it's a very good setup. I think you need to wait on a trap of some kind. Then you get a failed second entry short here. Let me move these. Get a failed second entry short. You go long right here. Then it pulls back again. And then you get a failed second entry short counting off the high. The first one, and notice your new low, first entry short, pull back, second entry short. But then notice here off your high, first entry, pull back, second entry. So it's a failure either way. So I like going long right there or adding on. And easy scalp up. This is where I took two of the demonstration entries. I actually entered here long, added on right here. And no sooner than I added on, I lost my internet access. And by the time it came back, we were down here. I just added on another set down here and I ended up making a whole lot more than my $200 today. But these were the two trades I was trying to demonstrate, and they would have worked. They got just enough. And normally what I do, let me explain that. If I add on here and I get another chance to add on here, whatever my highest one is, or my highest entry is, I'm going to use that for my 4 ticks. So when I went for this one, I'm going to go for the 4 ticks on the first one. So you're probably going to get an extra 2 ticks on this one. So you actually get, instead of 8 ticks, you would have got 10 ticks off that trade. So I like those two setups. When it got here and failed, I didn't really like going short. I think you had to wait on a second entry, and you never got that. And you just kind of moved straight back down here, and you got hung up in this little congestion area. And at that point, I moved this down to here. And you can see this little break lower. If this would have went straight out here, I would have just made that one blue, but it didn't. Again, it was similar to this one of these setups over here earlier, and here it is right here. It's almost a repeat of this pattern back here earlier in the day. I liked using limit order and dropping it in maybe a tick or two in. It would have got filled all the way back. I didn't like adding a second entry here really because you had to wait on this bar to finish, and then you're entering way up here. Would have worked, but I just didn't like it. I thought it was too aggressive. But then you get your failed second entry short here. Notice this new low, pull back first entry, then you're going up second entry. It fails. It's right off that trend line. It's a little double bottom. It ticks lower. Just put your stop right there. Boom, easy scalp. And I don't know if I marked anything else today. Yeah, I did. Then you get your break of this trend. Notice you closed outside, moved to a new high, and then you're trending down. This one's kind of interesting right here in that people always ask me that, just like we talked about here. You got to wait till you get here's your first two swings right here, and then this was kind of the confirmation, but you get your break, and look how bearish that is. I like going short right there. There's enough room to get out before you get down here. Quick, easy scalp, and then it kind of goes into this congestion. There's really a failed second entry short right here, but it didn't really break lower till here. Or actually, this is like a second entry long, but notice the new low, first entry, pull back, and that's the first time it went, second time it went lower. So that's your failed second entry short. So I liked going long right there. And that's still also a little two-legged pullback that retested this area, and you would have moved this up to right here. That's where that was. And another easy scalp. And that was the last one I marked. I got you into the 1:30, almost 2 o'clock hour today. And so that's what I saw today. Just trying to think if there's anything else. Really what we did was I kept looking for another leg up from here, but we just couldn't get through that resistance area, and we ended up staying in that range right there. You know, you'll hear me talk about that a lot, that, you know, that you get ranges on trend within trends and trends within ranges. And these are your trends within these little ranges here. See this little trend down, this one. So the trend lines work. You know, always try to draw those trend lines because they work. And they'll keep you on the right side even in the short-term trends. And you can see this one worked, this one worked, this one worked, this one worked. There's your break. You move to a new high, and then you're working down. You get the break, and we never made a new low on this one. Actually, I take that back. This may be where it started down right here, and you got this little, and this is the break and the move to a new low. So yeah, I think we probably got a break there too. But this is more of a range. But draw those short-term trend lines because they'll get you they'll keep you on the right side. They really will. And that's what I saw today. Again, it was a little bit hectic for me today. I didn't trade a whole lot because of the fact that they were working on my internet and everything was screwed up really. So, but I'm going to wrap this one up and call it a day. It's after 3 o'clock. I really would have liked to have been done earlier, but I couldn't do this till I got my internet back. So I'm going to wrap it up and call it a day. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.